I have never attempted to get a platinum trophy. I thought long and hard about what game to attempt first. I wanted a challenge, but not one that I necessarily needed to grind in order to achieve. And I also wanted to play something I've never played before. This led me to Stray. Stray introduces us to a dystopian world seen through the eyes of our unlikely protagonist, a stray cat. The game revolves around the cat's quest to return to its family after falling deep into an abandoned city that's been overrun by dangerous alien creatures. You navigate through this city with the help of a drone companion named B12, we'll meet him later on, and the game is a blend of exploration, puzzle solving, and platforming. There are 24 trophies in this game to attain in order to gain the 25th, the Platinum Trophy. It felt pretty good going into this, as I didn't think a game about a stray cat could be anything to worry about. I was wrong. Little did I know some of these trophies were definitely going to give me a run for my money. My plan was simple: play through the entire game as I normally would, at my own pace, getting the story trophies along with some of the miscellaneous trophies, because there are a ton of collectibles in this game, along with a few random tasks that you can very easily miss. But we'll get to that in a bit. Then on my second playthrough, I would attempt one of the hardest trophies in this game, I Am Speed, where you need to finish the entire game in under 2 hours. But I'm going to stress about that later. Let's get started. Our journey begins in a peaceful overlook where we are introduced to our main protagonist, a small orange tabby.
Here we go. Let's rally the troops. All of these cats are chilling. Oh, maybe we are too. All right, it's my first trophy hunt attempt, so I've got a guide here. We're gonna see how we do. That's how we meow. I do know there's a trophy for meowing, so eventually we're gonna get that.
Shortly after getting acquainted with the controls, we're separated from our feline family and fall into the depths of a long-forgotten city. And this is actually where we end up getting our first trophy.
What happened? That was so sad. Missed jump. First trophy. Fall inside the city. Alrighty, first trophy done.
Now, a lot of the trophies in this game are story related, which means we're going to get them automatically just by playing through the story. There are also some trophies that happen pretty organically, like Catapult for jumping 500 times, or a Little Chatty for meowing 100 times.
A little chatty. Let's double check, but I'm pretty, yep, meow 100 times, already done.
But besides that, everything else took a pretty good amount of effort. So I really needed to pay attention while moving through each area and chapter to ensure I wouldn't miss anything in this playthrough. Because remember, my second playthrough is strictly for the speedrun. I need all the time I can get. As a cat, the game allows you to do a bunch of cat-related things, like knock something off a shelf, jump off a pile of boxes to again knock it over, and essentially do a bunch of annoying things that cats tend to do. But there are a handful of trophies related to doing such things. For example, Boom Chakalaka for knocking a basketball over into a garbage can, Telechat for cycling through the channels on a TV, and my personal favorite, Curiosity Killed the Cat for getting our heads stuck in a paper bag.
Oh, here we go.
But one trophy I was very anxious about that I know I needed to pay attention to was territory. In every single chapter of the game, I needed to make sure I hit each area's scratch spot. There's typically only one in every single chapter, and all you have to do is scratch. It could be a carpet, a wall, etc. And you only need to do it for a second or two. But they can be very easily missed, and if I did end up missing one, I would need to restart the entire chapter to get it again. So I got very accustomed to, well, thinking like a cat. As the game progresses, you learn about these alien creatures that have terrorized the robot inhabitants in a city called Zerks. They're literally these little boil creatures that attach to you and suck the life out of you.
Hey, yo!
But seriously, they're annoying little f***ers. And in the second chapter of the game, there's a trophy related to them. Can't catch me. Can't catch me. There's a lot of puns in these trophies, so bear with me. These little boil boys ambush you, and there's a full 60-second or so sequence of you running away from them. It's pretty cool, to be honest, and it's not that hard to complete. But for the trophy, you need to do the entire run without getting touched once by these little boils. And that is where the first real challenge of this trophy hunt began.
I did not like these guys. No!
This might be kind of hard.
All right, we got a zigzag. We got a zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. Zigzag, 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 zigzag. Ah! Damn, this is gonna be tough. It's gonna be harder than I anticipated.
Finally, after so many attempts, I was able to get the trophy.
Run, dude. Get the fuck away from me. Oh my god. We got the farthest ever. Farthest ever. I got it. That was not that bad. It was a little tougher than I had planned, but pretty good. Man, that was intense.
Shortly after that mess, we finally meet B12, a small drone that ends up becoming our faithful companion throughout this adventure. B12 helps us communicate with the other robots, hack systems, and carry items that we might need. And we actually get a trophy when we meet him.
Not alone. Meet B12.
B12 is an AI consciousness that we transfer into this little drone body. They seem to have forgotten anything they had previously known, and one of the trophies is to actually help them gain all of their memories back. A handful of these are story driven, but a ton you have to find on your own. Great, another collectible trophy I have to look out for. Speaking of which, I found my scratch post in this chapter and now can officially continue forward to an area called the slums. Here we find the Guardian, where after they realize I'm not one of the Boyle boys, they let their guard down and let me roam free. We also get another story trophy here.
Alright, so we got Cat, got your tongue.
Now the slums housed a ton of miscellaneous trophies for the game. The aforementioned Curiosity Killed the Cat, Telechat, and Boom Chat Kalaka were all attained here, but I also needed to get to work on another cat related trophy, Cat's Best Friend, where you needed to nuzzle up against 5 robots. Now, in my exploration, I also stumbled upon this guy, Maruske. Maruske? Who knows? This guy, Marusk. Which is perfect because he's who I need to help me for my next trophy, Meowlity. I told you there are a lot of puns, I told you. Maruske is a robot that loves music, but his programming has forgotten all of the melodies he once knew how to play. So we set out to find 8 music sheets in this area so that he can once again play them on his guitar. Some were easy to find and collect, while others you needed to do other tasks in order to get them. Eventually we were able to bring all 8 sheets back to Maruske and let him play his music once more.
W. Got the music badge. Bring all the music sheets to Marusk.
I don't know how to say that name. Marusk. This task helps me twofold, because I got the Meowlity trophy, but there's also a different trophy called badges. In doing a bit more research, I discovered that there are 6 total badges to get throughout the game, this music trophy being one of them. I made sure to find all the memories I could in this area, along with Scratch It Up on this rug, and then we move on to help Momo, a robot looking to be with his friends again and is hopeful to one day see the outside world. We head over to Rooftops to find some missing tech Momo needs to communicate with his friends to see if they made it over to a different area called Midtown, which we eventually learn they did. But I made a fatal mistake early on in this chapter as I progressed. I found myself struggling to find the scratch area. I later learned it's right at the beginning of the chapter and I was not able to return. So after I finished this chapter, I went back and redid just the beginning and hoped that it would count towards the trophy later on. We'll have to see. Going forward, things started to get interesting. There are still a ton of memories to find, and I need to scratch something in every chapter remaining, and if you remember that super challenging trophy I had in chapter 2, well, some similar experiences were yet to come. After helping another fellow robot find his long-lost father in the Dead End chapter, we not only get another badge, called the Outside Badge, for the badge trophy, but they also gave us a weapon that is capable of killing these stupid Zerks. Sounds great, right? Wrong. Because there is yet another trophy that ruins this for us, Pacifist. In order to obtain this trophy, you need to get through the entirety of the next section without using the gun once. And let me tell you, it would have helped. Instead, we need to bob and weave and try to survive while mobs of these Boyle boys try to kill us. After a couple of deaths and a lot of anxiety, we finally get to the end of the chapter and I patiently awaited for the trophy to pop. Keep in mind, I am still scratching these little posts and finding all the memories I can throughout this journey. It is stressful. Yes, I know there's chapter select, but I don't have to go through and play a whole portion or full chapter just because of a memory or scratch post that I missed. Come on. Anyway, on to the next chapter. It's here we stumble upon another vivid memory for B12 where we learn that B12 was actually human. It's a terrifying and gut-wrenching moment for him. And it was important that we were empathetic during this moment to make sure we're by his side. Just kidding. I jumped on the table and ruined this game for these bots. And got another trophy in the process. CAT-astrophe. That one's not as bad. Pretty good pun. We also take the time to get another one of those badges in this area, the plant badge, for helping one of the robots gather different plants in this area. We then enter Midtown, another large open area similar to the slums with lots of missable things that were gonna stress me out. Great, but we do get another trophy for making it here. At this point, I'm getting pretty good with the trophy hunting. My first task in this area is to knock out my scratch post and get as many of the memories here as I can. I knock them out one by exploring the area and also collect 2 badges that can be found here, the cat badge and the police badge, and then continue with the story. We eventually find Clementine, the reason we came to Midtown in the first place, and let him know who sent us. With Clementine's help, we are now tasked with trying to steal an atomic battery from a factory so that we can power the subway and get the f out of here. We recruit the help of this guy. I can't remember his name, but he definitely gives me punk vibes. We help steal some shit for him so that we could sneak into the factory together. Lo and behold, another challenge awaits. Throughout the section, there are these bad robots called sentinels. They're essentially policing the factory. There's another trophy here for sneaking through the entire factory without being seen once.
Man, okay. It's gonna be another tough one. This might be the last tough one. So far, so good. This is how you know I didn't look at the guide. Man, okay. No!
Against my better judgment, I patiently made my way through the factory and eventually back to Clementine's apartment, all undetected, leading me to get the trophy.
Yes! Go through Midtown without being detected by the sentinels.
Now, this wasn't that bad. The previous 2 trophies that I mentioned were a challenge were actually a lot harder than this. But due to being distracted by this trophy, I ended up missing the last badge in the game. And I had already progressed too far to be able to revert back to a checkpoint to be able to go back and get said badge. Which means I would eventually need to go back and do the entire chapter up to this point all over again. But I'm gonna leave that for later. Clementine asks us to meet in the nightclub, so we head there, and before I go and meet him, we actually get another quick trophy for being DJ Whiskers at the club. After scaling the lights, we find Clementine tied up by none other than whatever the f this guy's name is. He turns us in to the Sentinels, little bitch ass, and we get sent off to jail. Although I'm annoyed by this betrayal, we do get a trophy for being sent off to jail. And yes, it's another pun, Alcatraz. We are now in the second to last chapter of the game. My stress is high as I'm hopeful I'm getting close to having all of the memories in the game and all of the scratching areas. I've already messed up the last badge and possibly one of the scratch points, so I really didn't want to have to go back and redo a bunch of the chapters. The jail chapter starts off pretty straightforward. We're working to gather up our allies and escape out of here alive with the battery in hand. There is a section here in this chapter where you have to trap some of the sentinels, and let me tell you, thank God there is not a trophy related to this section because it was unnecessarily challenging.
Get the f in.
I did take advantage of this being a challenging spot and got the No More Lives trophy by dying 9 times. We save our friends and eventually find ourselves zooming out of there, almost being left behind by Clementine. I see you, Clementine. I see you. But Clementine eventually sacrifices himself to help us get away and to the subway. Alright, thanks Clemmy. I forgive you. We take the train to the final chapter, and suddenly everything looks a bit different. It's clean, the robots don't have names or personalities, everyone is kind of working as usual. We find a control room, and B12 lets us know that he might be able to open up the lockdown and open the door to the city, freeing the robots and of course, letting us free to go outside. We help him destroy some computer equipment as cats do, and in the process, B12 sacrifices himself to help open the lockdown and free everyone. Thank you, my friend. I salute you.
I'm going with you. Oh, God.
We get another trophy as the game ends, and we make our way back to the outside world.
Complete the game and open the city.
Now, here's the problem. The game ended, and I never got that territory trophy, which means when I accidentally skipped the scratch area back in chapter 5, it didn't count. Or I missed a completely different chapter without realizing it, but I felt pretty confident that I hit all those spots. So in one last Hail Mary, I went back to chapter 5 in hopes that maybe it didn't save and I was gonna get it on this next run. Let's see. Yes. Oh man, close call. I did not know if that was gonna work. Now, let's go back and get that stupid badge that I missed. I also went back and found the one memory that I missed along the way. I remember. So with those out of the way, it was finally time for the speed run. Remember, I needed to complete the entirety of this game in under 2 hours. This was a stressful thought, mainly because it took me a lot longer to get through the game on the first run. But with that said, it was my first run, I took my time with it, and I did a lot of exploring. So I think focusing solely on moving from one chapter to the next, I'll move a lot quicker. Let's get to work. Now, a few things to consider with the speed run. All of the cutscenes, conversations, and gameplay count towards the clock. You can pause the game, save, and leave it to play again later as long as the total runtime is less than 2 hours. But I didn't want to do that. I sat there and I did the entirety of this run in one sitting. Time to start the clock.
Here we go.
2 hours later.
As I reached the end of my speedrun, my stopwatch was getting pretty close to 2 hours. I also started a little later than the official start of the run, so I was nervous it actually might be pretty close. But as I left the Forgotten City one last time, this happened. Yes! I did it. The speedrun completed, finally. And so now it was time for that elusive platinum trophy.
Total trophy progress. Is this it?
Fuck, there's one more trophy. I'd forgotten about one last trophy, and it actually ended up being one of the more stressful trophies I needed to complete in this entire playthrough. Sleep for 1 hour. Not like an in-game hour or anything, like a real hour, like 60 minutes of real time. Doing absolutely nothing. One thing I haven't mentioned at all throughout this entire playthrough is that there's different areas throughout the game you can literally stop and take a nap as a cat, because cats sleep all the time. And so I guess this is the way of the devs to be able to say, hey, we're a cat, and a cat would sleep for at least an hour, so we're gonna make you guys do it. Alright, so anyway, I headed back into the control room to get to work once more. After what felt a lot longer than an hour, I finally got the trophy.
Wow! Wait a second. We got it. We got it.
And with that, the platinum.
We did it.
I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I know it's a little jokey, but I had a lot of fun making it and a lot of fun going after this platinum trophy. If you made it all the way to the end here, thank you even more so. I want you to take the time to like this video, comment down below which game I should platinum next, and be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this. See you guys in the next one. Peace!